holidays are different for our family than I'm sure many others. Instead of getting to relax with your family and friends coming home from out of town, it's time for us to gear up. We do 40% of our business in 1 week of just mass chaos of gift box orders and perfect meals and holiday parties, and it just all kind of comes for once, and it really just pays for the whole year. It's so big for us though that the stress can be, amazingly high, especially for our whole entire family.
We used to come home from work and that's all we talked about was that night, and the next day was about how busy we were at work and all the hours we put in and how tired we were. And one of us would fall asleep at one time or another and then wake up and continue to eat, drink, and be merry.
And we were relieved it was over as well. But then it's funny because then when we go back the next day after Christmas, you miss the hustle and bustle.
I know that my father, my uncle, my grandfather had to deal with some of the same things that I did, which was working these 12 to 14-hour days every day, and then having to come home and still be the happy dad for their kids and try to make sure that you're able to enjoy the same things at home with them, and it can be very difficult.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to remember because Grandpa really wasn't around.
Because we started like 12, 13 years old. So our Christmases were done from then on.
Yeah, we actually worked too.
At first it wasn't that bad. I really don't remember a time of my dad being gone too much when it came for the holidays. It just was kind of the way that it was. So, when you were younger, my dad just wasn't there during Thanksgiving through Christmas through New Year's. And I guess I just thought that that's how everybody's father was like. I remember calling him at work and my mom just telling me if I wanted to talk to him, just give him a call. And finally, I just really wanted to work with him, just so I could be around him and hang out with him and see what the heck that him and my grandpa and my uncle were doing every night.
It'll affect them, but I think Danny, he's doing what we have told him to. Take time.
I don't think he'll take on all that stress. He doesn't take all that stress he's getting better at that.
I'll never forget the first time that I made my dad wake me up so that I would be able to go with him to work super duper early. And I asked him to wake me up early and he wouldn't do it. He told me he was going to, and then he just said he felt bad. He didn't want to wake me up, 5, 6 in the morning. So the next day I set my alarm and I was like, screw it, Dad. I'm waking myself up early and I'm coming with you. I remember later on not wanting to work with my dad necessarily so much. At that point I was older and we fought a little bit more, but those first couple years that I was able to work, I wanted to spend every waking moment with my dad, and it became difficult when he wasn't there. I know that he liked things to work as smooth as possible. He knew it was going to be chaotic. He knew that we were going to, triple the amount of customers that we do in January during one day in Christmas. And he knew it was going to be so nuts that he just wanted you to help make his life easier.
We took everything to heart. Even if one person was upset,
right,
it would ruin, even if usually it wasn't our fault, but we'd still take it to heart.
That's why we didn't sleep at nights, because all we did was worry. Make sure you're satisfying everybody, make sure you have the product for them, that you're not missing anything on their order, especially if they have more than one item.
The most rewarding part for me is seeing someone the next day, like after Christmas, and they come in and say, Danny, I don't know what you did, but, and then they talk about how something was incredible.
I miss the people. I don't miss the stress that goes along with it. But I miss the people.
I miss Dad. It's weird, huh? Sometimes you miss the hollering. I miss him hollering right now. He would have hollered at me and you not working anymore.
You know that you put all of these hours in from August, getting the right product and making sure that you're getting the best of the best and putting together the price list and the gift box list and hiring the employees, and you got just massive amount of people just here worried that every single order is going to go out as perfect as they can be, because this is a holiday meal and we got to be great.
Somebody would come in Christmas Eve, if we said we closed at 2, if they came in at 4 o'clock and wanted something that, you know, it took 15, 20 minutes to cut, we didn't tell them no. We told Mom no, that we'll be a little bit late for dinner.
Then we stopped the teenies, then came home.
Well, actually I used to, and I used to not tell nobody. So let's don't tell nobody now.
When my grandfather semi-retired and he was still working during the holidays, I used to go home with him after we closed up Christmas Eve. So we would be the last two there. We would lock the doors, we'd lock the register, we'd sweep the floors, we'd count everything up, make sure everything was perfect, able to go home.
Some days it felt like you're walking on eggshells. But then all of a sudden he would just snap out of it, huh? As it got closer to Christmas. At first he wasn't, because he always was nervous. You know, oh my God, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, how are we gonna sell all this, huh? Remember when the freezers were full, B&U? When we were finally allowed to order things?
It's a lot of pressure.
So we'd get over to his house early before my whole entire family got there, and my grandma would be frying up all the fish for Christmas Eve, all 7 fish. She'd be frying it up, getting ready, because we had this huge basement kitchen like other Italian families did, and it just was so awesome.
He never brought work home. He brought good work home, the good parts about it. He never brought bad parts. And there's bad parts. I mean, you know, what are you gonna do? That's it. Family business is hard to be.
Just eating fried food and talking about memories, you know? That's what the holidays are about. That's what Christmas is about. It was definitely days I will never forget. Like going into work super early with him and my grandpa and my uncle, and just looking at the entire picture, and we'd be all kind of half fighting with each other, but at the same time, just trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. That's the day too that we can be proud of ourselves. And I know that the lessons that my grandfather taught my father, my uncle, and what they taught me are all culminating into the perfect experience for a customer. And it's pretty cool to be able to see somebody say, our meal was awesome because of you.
We bickered, huh? We bickered a lot, but you know what? We always said good morning in the morning and good night at night. We always said that. We never...
Family.
It's a lot of fun being the owner, being the guy that makes all the decisions, being the boss, but there was a time when us four were all here that you can't replace them. You know, maybe our holidays aren't that much different than everybody else. You know, it's still about family for us. It's still about the memories. It's still about friends. And we just have to work in between. But we're lucky to have that.